In this video, we will be learning how to use Google Sheets to do all of the calculations for us from our calorimetry lab. Previous to this, you have already done all of these calculations using your calculator and your pen or pencil, so you've already learned all of the steps necessary in order to do these calculations. Our goal today in class is for you to learn how to get Google Sheets to do all of these calculations for you. You will find that when you get used to using Google Sheets, it is a fast and relatively easy way to get a lot of calculations done without spending too much time with your calculator. So, in order to get started with this, the first thing that we're going to need is the data that we have from the day one of the lab when you actually ran your calorimetry experiments and collected your 3 trials worth of data. On the screen in front of you is the sample data that I collected when I ran the lab myself. We'll be using this data to walk you through how to do all of the calculations. So the first thing whenever we use Google Sheets is that we always want to give our file a good title that later it's easy for us to find. So I'm thinking that a good title for this one would be Calorimetry Calculations. So there, I have a file name so that I can find this later. Now, our first step when we're going to have Google Sheets do calculations for us is that we need to enter in all of our raw data. We just need to type in pretty similar to the data table that we have from day one of the experiment. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start typing this in. Our first column is trial, and we had 1, 2, 3 trials. Our next column over is mass of water in can. Our next column over is initial mass of food, and then final mass of food, and initial temperature, and final temperature. Now you'll notice when I wrote the headers for these columns that I didn't spend the time to write in all the units or the uncertainties. The reason I didn't do this is because Google Sheets is just a calculator. That's all that it is. I don't need to go through and write in all of the details because I want to start thinking of Google Sheets as if it's my scratch paper that's doing all my work for me. And I don't need all of that extra information that doesn't actually go into the calculation itself. All I need are good labels at the top that make it really clear to me what information is down below them. We'll be showing you another time when we write our first lab report how to actually create a really nice data table like the one in your handout that would end up going into your lab report and that does include all of the details. So that said, my next task now is to go ahead and enter in all of the data that I collected. So I'm going to go ahead and just begin typing this in using the data that I have from the time that I ran this lab. So here I have all of my data typed in. Now the first thing that I would like you to notice is one of my data points that I typed in, I actually had in my data table 22.0, and when I typed it into Google Sheets it now says 22, and it did not put the 0.0. That is actually an easy fix. It automatically will do that, but we can fix it because we really want that 0.0 to be there. Otherwise, it's changing the accuracy of the number that we've put in. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on that cell, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go up here to increase decimal places. And what I've just done is told Google Sheets to go ahead and add another decimal place to the number that it's showing me. So now my data looks exactly like my raw data table from the day that I did the experiment. So now it's time to go ahead and start doing our calculations. So you'll remember from when we did these calculations with the calculator that step 1 is that we have to calculate the change in temperature. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to calculate the change in temperature, which you'll remember is the final temperature minus the initial. So I'm going to create a column by putting a header, and I'm going to call this change in temperature, and I'm just going to put a capital T because, again, this is my scratch paper. That capital T represents temperature, and I just need it to be something that I can understand moving forward. So anytime we're about to tell Google Sheets to do a calculation, we always start the same way. We always start by putting an equal sign in the cell that we're going to be working in. And you'll notice that that has changed the look of the cell. Google Sheets is now asking me, okay, you put an equal sign. You want me to do a calculation. What is the calculation you want me to do? So what I want it to do in this cell is I want it to take the final temperature for trial 1 and subtract the initial temperature from it. So I'm going to come over here to my cell that has the final temperature for trial 1, and I'm going to click on it. And you'll see that it's highlighted the cell and it's written F2 in my box. F2 refers to the fact that this cell is in the F column and it's the second cell. So it's put that. Now I'm going to tell it, take that and subtract from it. I'll put a minus sign, subtract from it whatever is over here in this cell under initial temperature. So subtract from it E2, whatever is in the cell E2. As soon as I've done that, I hit return, and you'll see that it has done that calculation for me. That should be the same answer that you got when you put this in with your calculator when we were doing it the other day. Now, I could go into the next cell and do the exact same thing, or I can use a really cool trick that Google Sheets has, and I can go up to the cell that I've already done. I can go to the bottom right corner of it, and you'll see there's a little box there, and when I hover over it, I get a cross sign for my cursor. I want to click that when I've got it like that, and I want to drag straight down and let go. And what I've just done is I've just told Google Sheets do the exact same thing for every single row. So if I go back and I click on, say, this cell here, if I double click it, it will actually tell me that it took the information from F3 and subtracted the number in E3 from it. I can double click the next one and see that it went straight down the rows with me. So that's a pretty fun trick, because once you've got the first calculation in just a snap, you can get it to do all of the others for all of your trials. So that was step 1. Let's go ahead and move on to step 2 of our calculation, which is calculating Q, which stands for energy transfer. So I'm going to put a title at the top in my header so that I know what these numbers represent. And I'm going to go back to my handout and look at the equation for Q. So Q, you'll remember, is the mass of the water times this specific heat of water constant times the change in temperature. So let's go ahead and start putting that into this cell. Always start with an equal sign so that Google knows you want it to do a calculation. Then the first number that I need is the mass of the water. So I'm going to come all the way over here where I've got that number, and I'm going to click on that cell. And I need to now multiply. So what I'm going to do is tell Google Sheets to multiply. The multiply command is the star that is above the number 8. It's on the 8 key, so it's Shift 8 to get that little star. The next thing that I want to put in now to multiply is the specific heat of water. And you'll remember that that is a number, and it's a number that never changes. So I just need to type that number in, 0.001. Because it never changes, I'm just going to type it in. I'm not going to refer Google to a cell because I don't have it written anywhere else on here. Then I'm going to tell it to multiply. And we're going to multiply by the change in temperature, which is the column that I just now did. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on that. I'm going to hit equals, and there it is. There is the multiplication. It's done that problem for me. So now I'm going to highlight that like I did before. I'm going to grab that bottom right corner and I'm going to drag it down so that it will do all 3 of the calculations for me. So I have now completed step 2. I have the energy transfer value from the Cheetos to the water for every one of my trials. So I'm now going to move on to step 3 of my calculations, and I'm going to get a new column for that. You'll remember that step 3 is calculating the change in mass of the food. So change in mass of food. I'm going to give it a name so I remember what it is. And you'll remember that this calculation is done by taking the final mass and subtracting the initial mass from it. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's tell Google to do a calculation by hitting the equals sign. And then let's go find the final mass of food because we need that first. Here is the final mass of the food. Let's hit the subtraction sign. and tell it to subtract the initial mass from that. And then we're going to hit return. And there it is. It's done the calculation for me. You'll notice, just like when we did this in the calculator, that we get that negative sign just like we expected. So I'm going to go ahead and come up here. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to grab that bottom right corner and I'm going to drag it down. And now it's just done the change in mass of the food for every trial for me. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move on to step 4. Step 4, you'll remember, is calculating the energy transferred per gram of food, or what we called EF, energy per gram of food. I'm just putting abbreviations and shortening what I'm doing, again, because this is scratch paper. When it comes to typing this up for my lab report, I'll be putting more, but I don't do that here in Google Sheets. So you'll remember that this calculation is actually the absolute value of Q divided by the change in the mass of the food. So let's go ahead and start typing that one in. Again, we're always going to start with an equal sign. Google has a command for absolute value. I'm just going to start typing this because look at that. It starts to show up. ABS is the command for absolute value. You'll notice when I do that, it starts a parentheses. That basically means that anything inside that parentheses, it's going to take the absolute value of it at the end. So I want my entire equation, Q divided by delta M, to end up inside this parentheses. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's go find Q, which is right here, Q. And let's go ahead and tell it to divide. So I'm going to press here, and you see that the slash is a division sign. And then we want it to divide by the change in mass of the food, which is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And then I need to close that parenthesis. So I have basically just told it, take the energy, which is in H2, divide it by the change in mass of the food, which is in I2, and do the absolute value of that whole thing. So there it is. Now, again, I don't want to type this in 2 more times, so I'm going to do my nifty little trick where I'm going to grab that bottom right corner and pull down. And now it's just done all of those calculations for me. I am on now to step 5. So in step 5, we're going to be getting the average of the EF, the energy per gram of food that we just calculated in step 4. So because I'm calculating an average, which is just one number, I'm actually going to move and not work in the same spot in my spreadsheet. I'm going to move down here below the numbers that I'm averaging. So I'm going to go ahead here, and you're going to see why in a minute. I'm going to be below these numbers. I'm going to type average EF, and down below it, I'm going to go ahead and put in what I want it to do. I'm going to type equals, because I always do that. And you'll notice right here that Google has already given me some suggestions of what I might want to do. Now, if it hadn't done that, I could also just start typing the word average, because this is one of the functions that it knows how to do, just like absolute value. So I'm going to go ahead and click on average, and do you notice it's even asking me, are these the cells you want to average? This is why I came down below the numbers I want to average, because it's doing some of the work for me. It's already asking me, are these the ones? So I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, that's what I want. And then I'm going to hit return. And right here, I have the average that I need for the energy transferred per gram of food. Now, the only thing that is still remaining to do with this number is to consider the significant figures, like we did at the end of the last video when we were doing these calculations with the calculator. So just like before, because our change in mass only has one significant figure, our average EF can also only have one significant figure. So there are 2 ways that you can do this. One is you can just round this number off yourself and just say, okay, one significant figure, I can only keep the 1, and that's all I'm going to have. Or you can come back up to these same tools that we used before, the decrease and increase decimal places, and you can decrease your decimal places to where you have only one significant figure. When you do that, Google is following all of the rules of rounding, and it is rounding off your number for you the way that it should be. So here we have run all of the calculations for our calorimetry mini lab, and we've done it all in Google Sheets.